Okay, here we are. Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. Mum's back with me again today. She came up yesterday, and we have a quick little project for you.
Yes, very nice one.
Yeah, it was, and this one was Mum's idea.
My idea.
She's had to show me how we're going to be doing this, but as I usually do, I've had to make a couple of modifications.
Of course, and there is no zipper in it.
I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about that. We're going to make a couple of scissor keepers today. I've got 2 pairs of scissors.
Could have a nicer one.
They were nice ones. A little pair like these embroidery scissors, and then we've just got these dressmaking scissors. They're old and
pretty
spongy.
old.
They're old, yeah. They've been with me for decades. So we're going to make 2 different size scissor keepers. I'll make one, Mum will make one. We're actually going to put a hanging loop on the back of it, and it's going to have a press stud to close it at the front. Haven't got anything to show you yet because the only thing we've done is cut up the fabric. But we'll have a couple of little hanging loops on the back as well, so that you can take it around in your craft bag or just hang it up on your sewing wall. So we'll have a couple of different options for that.
Yes, we do, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you make the small one, I make the big one.
Okay. All right, stick around.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm sure it'll be fun. All right, we don't need much today. Mum's making the bigger ones.
That's the sort of lining.
Yep.
And that's the outside fabric.
Yep. And so with the larger one, we're going to use 28 centimetres or 11-inch squares of fabric for the outer and the lining fabric. And we're just using a lightweight fusible
Yeah,
fleece.
light one will be fine. Yeah. And then we have that for the
tab.
For the tab,
yeah. The tab is 5 by 12 centimetres or 2 by 5 inches, which is that little piece there.
Yeah.
And for the stabiliser, we're just using a lightweight pellin. We want that to be 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way around than the outer fabric pieces. And that's to reduce the bulk on the seam allowances. That will be 10.5 inches or 26.5 centimetres. You don't have to have the 1/2 centimetre or even the 1/2 inch. Just round it up or down to whichever measurement you want and make them all square. So as long as you have the fusible 1/2 inch
shorter
than the other fabric pieces, you'll be fine. We're going to be making a small one over here. We'll be using the same size tab, which is 5 by 12 centimetres or 2 by 5 inches. For the fusible, I've got 11.5 centimetres or 4.5 inches. And then for my 2 fabric pieces, I've got 12.5 centimetre squares or 5-inch squares. And that will be big enough for this little embroidery scissor. We also want a swivel clip or a D-ring, whichever you prefer. So we're going to do our tabs, one with a clip and one without.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Let's get started, okay.
With our fusible product, we want to have a perfect square. In this case, we've got 10.5 inches here, and in my case, I've got 4.5 inches. We're going to make a flat bottom at the bottom of our little pouches. Mum's going to measure 2 3/4 inches from the side edge, and I'm going to measure 1 1/4 inches.
2 3/4, that's here.
Yep, which is 7 centimetres. And we'll do that on 2 sides. Mum's going to need a bigger ruler than I've got.
I do.
And where these markings are, mark a line straight across. And we can cut that out. Here, use my blunt scissors.
Oh, that's a heavy one, yeah.
So I'll just cut this little triangle out as well. Take the outer fabric and place our fusible product with the fusible bubbly side down. Even that out so that you've got the same seam allowance all the way around. Now we can take this to the iron or the heat press and we'll fuse those together. We'll be right back. So we have our parlan fused to the wrong side of our outer fabric. We need to sort our tabs. Mum and I are going to be making 2 different ones, or slightly different. You fold the raw edges into the centre and then fold that in half again. And for the one I'm making, I'll be putting a little swivel clip or a D-ring on there.
And what I'm doing is we fold the fabric on both sides in, like so. And just finger press it on both sides. And then we fold it together. There we are.
Yes. So with both of them, we're going to sew straight down the long edges, and in Mum's case, you can sew down the short edges as well.
Okay.
And we need to do that before we do the next step. So we can't put our layers of fabric together until we've sewn these tabs. Now for my tabs, I've still got my raw edges on the short ends. I'm going to put my D-ring or my swivel clip on the fabric first. So I've got everything folded over the way I want it. Put my clip on, open the fabric out, and join up the short ends, and I'll sew that in place. Once I've done that, then I can bring the folds back together again and sew down the two long edges whilst that clip is in place. The Mum doesn't want to use my machine, it goes too fast for her.
Yeah, it does.
So I'll be doing the sewing.
You do that.
Let's start with the little ends for the tab that's going to have the swivel clip on it. My seam allowance today is 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters. Finger press that seam open, and then we can fold those edges back in, and then I'll fold those back in together, and I'll start closing this up right on that side seam. I'll keep that swivel out of the way and just move my fabric forward as I'm going around. It's a little bit fiddly because this is so small. And when I get back to the beginning, I'll go back to where the seams join, sew across that, and then sew down the other side. Where that seam is now, bring that down to the edge of your swivel clip, and we'll just sew this closed, as close as you can get. That's that one finished, and this one here we've got the edges closed on the short edges and the other side's folded in. Alright, we've got our tabs finished. This one here is one I'm going to use on the small keeper, and Mum's going to use the one with the folded edges in on the ends. Before we place our two fabric pieces together and sew it closed, we need to attach the tab to the back of our fabric. Let's pop a pin in here before we turn that around, just so that we know where we are. So this is the top end here. Let's flip the fabric over, and I'm going to measure, we're both actually going to be measuring 3 1/4 inches or 8 centimeters from that top corner. Oh, you want to use that?
Thank you.
And then we can just fold this in half and mark the center. And that's the dead center of the diagonal of our fabric.
But you didn't that? I don't have that.
Well, you haven't marked your center yet.
Well,
No,
because,
other way.
but I did that.
Yeah, so you just haven't marked it yet with your marker, yeah.
How can I mark it if I don't have the center?
You folded the center
Yeah.
and open it, and then take this and mark across there.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So we've marked the center of our fabric here. We've both come down 3 1/4 inches, and we've both found the center along here. Now we can place our tabs in position.
Okay.
So what Mum's going to do, and we'll just remove this fabric for the moment. Let's use this fabric so that people can see. So Mum's going to position her tab
Like,
with the ends beside each other rather than closed like I have here.
yeah, like that, together.
Yeah. So all you'll do is have this side here coming around and looping around to the other side. And this one here with the swivel clip, I'm bringing mine down quite low given that this is a small pouch, but it's actually going to be stitched from here. So I've positioned the bottom fold of my tab on that mark, and I'll line that up with that point in the centre. Very difficult to see here. I've got my tab lined up along the centre, and all I'm going to do is sew this in place along there. I'll come up about 1.5 inches or so. With Mum's, oh that's good, you can see that better. The folded edge is facing down toward the main part of the pouch, and the loop is at the top. And all I'm going to do is just sew straight across here, and I'll do a small little box around the bottom. I'll go and do those now. For the little one, I'm just going to start about 2.5 centimetres further up, sew down to the end, across, up and across again. And with the one that Mum's doing, I've decided to grab another piece of fabric and give you a contrast so that you can see what we're actually doing. So I've placed the two short edges together to make a loop like this, and place that over those markings that Mum made earlier. We'll turn the work around and come up about 1/4 inch. And sew across, and then we'll come down again. Matching thread would have been good, but I couldn't be bothered changing my thread. We've got our loops in place here, and with Mum's we've changed the colour just so that you can actually see what we're doing here. And now we can put our layers of fabric together. So we can grab our lining, and I'm going to move my tab out of the way so that I don't accidentally sew over it. Now we still have this little section here. We'll be doing 1/4 inch seam allowance right beside the fleece, and we can chop this off later. So have your right side facing up, and then grab your lining piece and place that right side down. The edges have been clipped or pinned together. This is going to be the bottom edge of our pouch, and we're going to sew this whole thing closed and leave a small opening, but we'll trim this corner off later. Where this corner is here, we're going to leave an opening to the right. So we'll sew from here all the way around and leave an opening just in here, and in Mum's case, just there. So she'll get to have quite a substantial opening, whereas I'll only have a couple of fingers. So I'll start here with a back stitch. I'm going to sew right along the edge of the fusible fleece, including this edge here, all the way around, come back here with a back stitch, and then we can trim everything that we need to.
Yeah, and then we do it on both sides, both pieces.
Yes, yeah. And then we can turn it the right way around.
Okay, you go.
So this is the larger one. I'm going to leave a big opening just here and back stitch there. All right, now all we need to do is trim the bottom section off about 1/4 inch from the stitched edge here. And our corners, we can clip those. And I'm just going to finger press the opening here. And then I'll turn everything the right way around. and poke out all your corners. All right, now we've got everything closed up that we need to. We've got our little opening here that needs to be closed up later, but we're not going to do that side just yet. So find the square section at the bottom here, and all we want to do is top stitch this top section here. So we don't want to do this area here just yet. Top stitch that and that.
So it's there and there.
Exactly. And if you want to, you can do that flat section along the bottom as well. I think I will. So I'll top stitch this bottom section first, then I'll come up and do the two top sides. And I'll do the same for the big one. Okay, what we want to do now before we fold these edges over, and you'll notice that I haven't closed up this side just yet, at the top corner here where we've got our clips sticking out, I need to mark a position for the fold over flap. For myself, from the top corner, I'm measuring 5 centimetres or 2 inches, and I'll do that from both sides of the top corner. And with Mum, on the bigger one, she's going to measure 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimetres.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done this a couple of times already, but things keep going wrong, like me forgetting to hit record on the camera. Put a pin in where you've made those marks. Oh, you've already done that.
I done that.
Oh, you didn't pull yours out.
No.
And we have our centre position marked at the bottom here. You'll take the right hand side, the side that's got the opening in it, and bring that across the centre. So we'll fold that at the centre and the bottom. Flatten that out up to the pin mark we've made, but I'm going to open it out about 1/4 inch. I don't want to go all the way to the pin. I just want to come to the right of it a little bit and fix that in place.
Okay, now we do the same here. Have to do it that way and that way. That's a bit more. That side.
Very good.
Okay.
So pop a clip in the side there, and I'll take this to the machine. I'm going to sew straight down this end here, which will close up that opening, and then I'll come along the bottom as well. And I'll do the same for the big one. Make sure that your clip is out of the way here. Back stitch. And then we'll do the next one. All right, so we've sewn this side down here. The scissors are going to be sitting inside there. And we need to bring this flapper over as well. You can remove your pins. Mine's going to be okay, but
I did make a mistake. I take the blame for it.
yeah, I'm not. So with this side here, before we sewed this down, we wanted to make sure that the side edge going to line up on the side here without there being any of this fabric being in the way. So you need to do that before you top stitch this in place. And if it's too far over to the left, you can actually just manipulate it over to the right. What we can do now, bring the left flap over to the right, and you'll line up this side edge with this side edge here, and then we can go and top stitch this in place along here. So I can go and do that in a moment, but before I do that, I have to fix a little problem. What we want to do is be able to bring our flap over and put a press stud or a snap fastener in here, and we've got our tab hanging at the back. With Mum's, it didn't quite work out. We've got the tab right
Too far.
here. We can't properly hang it.
So we don't need a hanger, we just take it off when we don't need a hanger.
Well, you don't have to, but that's cheating.
Well,
oh, look, there's your line.
Well, that's what you call it, a design.
All right, design feature.
Design
So
feature.
I think we need to have joint responsibility for this.
Okay.
Because you had marked 2 lines earlier, and when I changed colours, I've gone and put this in the first
You
line.
did that. I didn't do that.
Funny how I get blamed for everything.
Yeah.
I was accepting half the responsibility here.
I had it in the right spot before.
So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to stitch that in its correct place before I close this up.
Yes, you
So
do
I will
that.
go and fix that. The only thing is it's going to mean that I've got some stitching seeing.
Oh, that's all right. You don't see it.
Yeah, that's right. So we won't worry about that. But
side-
I'll go and fix that now.
You do that, yeah.
All right, so crisis averted. I've moved the tab from up here to down here. The measurements we gave you earlier were all fine. There was nothing wrong with that. It was just my placement. And you can just see the stitching
Can't
on
see
the
it,
inside.
yeah.
No, we can live with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all you need to do now is bring the left flap over to the right. You need so many clips.
Oh, well, better safe than sorry.
Okay, I'll go and sew this down here.
Yeah. So here you have to come across somehow.
Yep. So when I sew from here down, I'll come across and follow that stitching line that I've done.
You go
before.
down here, yeah.
Yep.
So that nothing falls out. Yeah.
No. And nothing
Good.
will fall out anyway because we've got this stitch
Yeah.
closed at the bottom.
Yeah.
Back stitch at the top. And at the bottom, I'll turn around, sew over that bottom section. And we'll do the same for this one. Okay, we're completely finished now except for the little snaps that we're going to put in our pouch. Fold the top edge over and line that up so that it's in a comfortable position for you. And then you can just put a pin through the top of the flap into the fabric behind it. And I'm just going to make a mark in the fabric on this side and on this side here. And that's where I'll poke my holes. I've got one here and one there.
Okay. So we have one here and one here.
And we just need to take our awl, and we only want to go through this top layer. We don't want to go through both of them. Poke the awl through that mark we've made, making sure you don't stab your fingers. Put a hole in the fabric there, and we'll do the same on the top flap. And then we can pop our snaps in. So with the outside, we want to pop the cap through the top there and grab one of the other sides, pop that in there. And with the underneath, we want to put the cap coming up.
Oh, here it is.
We want to put this little cap coming up from underneath. And place the other one over the top, and we can squeeze that closed.
Thank you. Well, close it. Very nice.
Do your scissors fit?
My scissors will fit. I have one fit in here, and I have another one what fits in here.
Excellent work.
And you close it, then you can hang it up.
Exactly.
So,
Perfect.
perfect.
So I can take this now to craft, hang it up inside my craft bag, or I can just hang it up on my pegboard on my wall.
On here the same, you have 2 big scissors. You close it, if you can, yeah. And then you can hang it up. There you go.
Perfect.
All done.
Yes,
Teamwork.
we did good.
Yeah. Yeah, they come out all right.
They did. And there we have it. I have a little pouch
I got a bigger pouch.
and a couple of different options for finishing them. So you can hang it up with a loop and a swivel clip.
Oh, just have a hook there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way will work.
It
And
does.
the little crisis that we had, that's just one of
Yeah.
those things that you have when you sew.
All
You forget
finished.
lots of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go, and then you open it, and you've got 1 scissors, and you've got 2 scissors.
And I've just got my little
Perfect.
puny ones.
Yeah, perfect, very nice.
Yes. We hope you've enjoyed this video.
Yes.
Oh, am I going to sell it in the shop? No. And the reason I won't sell it in the shop is because anybody that wants a scissor keeper is generally somebody that can sew anyway, and they're going to want to make their own. So there's no reason for me to actually have these in the shop to sell to somebody that already sews.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
for that reason, I'm not going to have them in the shop. Perfect for anybody to take to their craft group. You can put lollies in there. It's
Yeah.
like, remember the first day of school in Germany? You get
You get something like that with chocolate and
Full of
lollies
lollies.
and things.
I missed
and
out on
all
that. She brought me to Australia too soon.
Yeah, so I save on lollies.
We hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've enjoyed Mum dropping in and visiting again.
Again,
She's
yes.
going back home again tomorrow, so we'll see you sometime.
Next time, yeah. And thanks for watching. I appreciate all the comments you make.
Yeah, we've had lots.
Thank you so much.
We've had lots of people comment after Mum's visit last time, and yeah, really positive comments. So we
Yeah,
thought we'd.
it was nice. So I'm a YouTube fan, or not a fan,
You're a
YouTube
YouTube star.
star. Yes, I'm a star. Okay.
We hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for
Okay,
now.
see ya. Bye.